Hi, fourth graders. We're back for week number 26 of remote learning. And we have 2 lessons we're going to be doing from this week, and that will get us to the end of Module 9, and then next week we'll be starting Module 10. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on, we're moving right along, just so that way you know. We are, again, on week number 26. I just need you to make sure that you're getting all of your work done and you're handing it in on time. Some of you are not doing that. I have one of you who is rocking it, doing a fabulous job. When you're handing everything in on time and you're doing a really good job, and I can tell that you're working really hard, and I just want you to know that I'm very, very proud of you. But my girls, man, you've got to get some stuff done, or I don't know, something's got to change, because moving on to 5th grade for you 2 girls is going to be difficult if you don't start doing the work. Okay, this isn't a vacation. You still have to do your work. We're working hard when we're in school. So girls, I need you working hard while you are at home. Okay? So I'm sorry I have to get stern, but I don't know what else to do. I keep sending notes. I call home. I talk to parents. I'm not sure what else to do to get you to want to do the work, other than let you know that you will be back with me for 4th grade next year if you don't start getting some stuff done and doing well and trying your best. Okay? All right. So our first lesson is Lesson 3, Module 9, Lesson 3. Get out that paperwork so that way you can follow along. So we have been working a lot on area, and we have been finding the area of regular rectangles, and then we've been finding the area of rectangles that are in different shapes, and we've had to figure out what the different rectangles are within those shapes. Now we're going to be finding unknown measurements. So when you're finished, you'll be able to find the unknown measure of a rectangle given the length of one side and either the area or the perimeter. So remember, to find the area, we do length times width. To find the perimeter, that's when you add up all the sides around the outside. That's when you want to know just around the outside, like if you're putting up a fence, or if you are putting like a border around something. That's the perimeter. The area is what's inside. So the perimeter is length plus width plus length plus, sorry, I should have put this up higher, width. So all 4 sides are added together for perimeter. And area, to find what's in the middle, we're multiplying just 1 length times 1 width. Okay? So that's the differences between area and perimeter. So Liesl is decorating the front window of a shop with a string of lights. She uses 50 feet of lights around the window. The window is 10 feet wide. What is the length of the window? So what do we want to find out? Well, we want to find the length, right, of the window. Now she's going around the outside. So what formula are we going to be using for this one? We're not filling in the middle, right? She's going around the outside. So this one is a perimeter. So that's going to be your biggest thing, is to figure out, are we doing perimeter or are we doing area? And the reason why we know is because it says around the window. Not she's filling something in, not she wants to know the area of something, not she wants to know what's in the middle. Around the window. That means around the outside. So what do we know? We know she uses 50 feet of lights. So 50 feet total is what she uses. So that's how much is going to go all the way around the window. And we also know that the window is 10 feet wide. So if I were to draw this picture, I would have my window and it is 10 feet wide. Now, if this side is 10 feet, what do I know about a rectangle? The opposite side must be 10 feet, right? And this is our unknown. And then we know all the way around the outside perimeter is 50 feet. So we wrote this in words, and then this is what we know if in picture form, right? This is the information that we know if we drew a picture for it. So the formula we're going to need to use is length plus width plus length plus width. Now, they do this just a little bit different. 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, which makes sense, right? Because you have 2 lengths and you have 2 widths. So you would do 2 times length, 2 times width. So that's another way that you could write perimeter, the formula. So P equals 2 times, do we know the length? No, we don't know the length. So that's our unknown. And 2 times the width, which we know is 10. So perimeter equals 2 times the length plus we can figure out 2 times 10, which is 20. So 2 times L, or X, we can use this as an L, is our unknown. So how can we use this equation to help us find what 2 times L is? Well, if I know that the width is 20, and I know that, my perimeter is 50. We did know our perimeter, I'm sorry about that. Our perimeter is 50. Couldn't I subtract my perimeter from the 2 sides that I do know? So if I did 50 minus 20, that's going to equal 30. Now 30 is 2 times L. So 2 times L is 30. So if 2 times L equals 30, I have to think, what number multiplied by 2 is 30? Or how can I split 30 in half? So you could either divide, right, over here if you're not quite sure. You could do a division. So you could do a 10, right? 10 times 2 is 20, which gives you 10. 2 times 5 is 10, which gives you 0. And you add these together and you get 15. So 2 times 15 equals 30. So that tells me that our length is 15. The length of the window is 15 feet. Okay? So let's practice one with area. Samuel is decorating a different window in the shop. The window is a rectangle and has an area of 72 square feet. The length of the window is 9 feet. What is the width? Okay, so this one, it tells us area is 72 square feet. If it didn't say area, we would even know it was area because of the square feet. So this is an area problem. And we know the length is 9 feet. So we need to find the width. So what do you want to find out? The width of the window is what we want to find out. What is the information we know? We know that area equals 72 square feet, and we know that the length equals 9 feet. So if I were to draw this rectangle, I know that inside here is 72 square feet. And I know that the length is 9 feet. My unknown is my width. So the area formula we know is area equals length times width. So our area is 72. Our length is 9, but we don't know what our W is. So we need to think, well, what number times 9 equals 72? What number multiplied by 9 equals 72? Well, I hope you know that it is 8. So the width of the window is 8 feet. Because 8 times 9 equals 72. So there's not as many steps, right, when you know the area and you need to find one side, but there are a few extra steps when you know the perimeter and you only know one side. So let's do a couple of these. Elise is painting a stage set that has an area of 48 square feet. The width of the set is 6 feet. What is the length? So we know this is an area problem because it talks about area and we have the width. So if we have our rectangle, we know the area is 48 square feet. We know that the width is 6 feet and we want to know the length. So we need to think 48 equals length times width, which is L times 6. So what number times 6 equals 48? Well, that would be 8 feet, right? 6 times 8 is 48. All right, number 2. Jada has 38 yards of fencing to put around a paddock for some goats. She has the length set as 10 yards. What is the width of the paddock? So she wants to go around the paddock with the fencing. So that means this is a perimeter problem. So we know that the perimeter is 38 yards because she has that much yards of fencing to put all the way around. We know that the length is 10 yards. And we don't know what the width is. So we know that it's 38 equals 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. So this would be 38 equals 2 times W plus 2 times 10 is 20. So I need to subtract 38 and 20. 8 minus 0 is 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. So this tells me that 2 times W equals 18. So what number times 2 equals 18? Well, that would be 9. So the width of the paddock is 9 yards. So see how there's a few more steps, right? When you have the perimeter and you don't know one of the sides than when you know the area and don't know one of the sides. All right, on your own, if you want to do this independently, you can. And then come back and check your answers. Or you can stay right with me and do this together. Let me just look and see if there's any that you need to. Yep, we will skip number 11. Okay, number 3. Cameron is digging up a section of grass to plant a vegetable garden. The garden will be 30 feet long and have a perimeter of 80 feet. How wide will the garden be? So this tells us what the perimeter is, 80 feet, and it's going to be 30 feet long. We want to know the width. So if I have my rectangle, I know that it's going to be 30 feet long, and I know that my perimeter equals 80 feet, but I don't know my width. Whoops. So we know that it is 80 equals 2 times W plus 2 times 30. So let's first figure out what is our 2 times 30. So 80 equals 2 times W plus 2 times 30 is 60. So now I know this part of my rectangle, so I need to take it out so I can figure out what is left for my width. So 80 minus 60 equals 20. So that means that 20 equals 2 times W. So what number times 2 equals 20? That would be 10. So it is 10 feet wide. Jackie is marking off a section of yard to practice field hockey. The area of the section is 56 square meters. The length is 8 meters. What is the width of the section? So we know the area and we know the length. We want to know the width. So if we have our rectangle and we know that it is 56 square meters all on the inside because that's the area, and we know that the length is 8 meters, we want to know what the width is. So 8 times W equals 56. What number times 8 equals 56? I hope you said 7. So it is 7 meters wide. Alrighty, next problem. The square-shaped plaza at the center of a small village has an area of 100 square meters. How can you find the length of one side of the plaza? This only gave us the area of the square. But what do I know about a square? I know that all of the sides are the same length. And if my area is 100 square meters, and I know that these two numbers need to be the same because all of the numbers are the same, I need to think what number times what number equals 100. And it has to be the same number. So my length times my width equals 100, but because it's a square, I need the same number. So I know that 10 times 10 equals 100, right? So if we have length times width equals 100 square meters, I know that 10 times 10 equals 100 square meters. So one side would be 10 meters. So this one, we just had to focus on the fact that it was a square-shaped plaza. And if you know that a square has all four sides the same length, well then, there you go. You're good to go. Alrighty. Use the area or perimeter formula to find the unknown measures. So we have our width is 4 centimeters. Our length we don't know, but we do know our area. So we know that this would be 20 equals 4 times n. So what number times 4 equals 20? Well, that would be 5 centimeters. Our perimeter, so we know that we've got 22 for a perimeter, which equals 2 times n plus 2 times 7. 22 equals 2 times n plus 2 times 7 is 14. So now I'm going to subtract 22 minus 14 so I can figure out what do I have left that would be these two sides added together. So I need to regroup. So I have 8. So 8 equals 2 times n. So what number times 2 equals 8? Well, that would be 4. So 4 miles. Number 8. We have a perimeter of 40. We know that our width is 8. So 40 equals 2 times 8 plus 2 times L. 40 equals 2 times 8 equals 16 plus 2 times L. So first I need to subtract 40 minus 16, regroup. So now I have 24. So 24 equals 2 times L. So what number times 2 equals 24? That would be 12. And don't forget your label, 12 inches. And this one is the area. So we have 27 equals 9 times n. What number times 9 equals 27? Well, that would be 3. 3 feet. Okay. Number 10. Checkers is one of the oldest board games still played today. The oldest known checkerboard is over 5,000 years old. A standard checkerboard is square and has an area of 64 square inches. What is the length of one side of the board? Okay, so this is just like the one we did over here, right? This told us that we have a standard checkerboard is square, and the area is 64 square inches. So if I have a square, and the area is 64 square inches, and I want to know what my length and my width are, because remember, length times width equals, and we're going to have 64 because it gave us the area. What times what equals 64, and these two numbers have to be the same. Well, I know that 8 times 8 equals 64. So one side of the checkerboard would be 8 inches. Okay, we're going to skip number 11 and move on to number 12. A square has a perimeter of 24 inches. How can you find the length of a side? Okay, so this one's tricky too. We know it's a square, so all the sides will be the same, right? And the perimeter is 24. So it would equal 24 equals 2 times W plus 2 times L. Well, I know that 2 times 12 equals 24. But I can't do 12 because both of these need to add up to equal 24, but they're going to be the same number. These are going to end up being the same number that are going to add to 24. What plus what equals 24, and it's the same number? Well, I know that 12 plus 12 equals 24. Now, 12 is not the side. 12 is 2 times the side. 12 is the sides added together. So if I take half of 12, that would be 6. So if I add 6 4 times, what happens? I get 24. So the length of a side is 6 inches. That one can be a little confusing, but you just have to talk it out. All right, use the area or perimeter to find the unknown measure. So we know this is a perimeter of 16 and one side is 6. So 16 equals 2 times 6 plus 2 times the length L, or N, because they put an N there. So 16 equals 2 times 6 is 12 plus 2 times our length. So I need to subtract 16 minus 12, figure out what I have left, and I have 4. So 4 equals 2 times L. Well, what times 2 equals 4? That would be 2. So it would be 2 centimeters. Okay, next we know our area. And we don't know any of the sides, but when I look at this looks to me like it's a square. So I need to think, what number times what number equals 36? And it's the same. What number times what number equals 36? Well, that would be 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, and our last one, we have an area that equals 45. And we know one side is 15. What times 15 equals 45? What times 15 equals 45? Well, that would be 3. So it is 3 meters long. All right, so I'm going to have you do the work for 9.3 independently and return it to me at school, so that way I can check it over and see how you're doing. All right, have a great rest of your day. Bye.